It is time for sports on the diamond, and nothing better than SEC softball.
Yep.
Auburn softball is quite on a roll. They went 5-0 this past weekend, and they open up SEC play against number 4 Alabama this weekend. So, what are you all kind of expecting out of this Auburn team in the lead up to this massive showdown with a top 5 team in the country?
Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, we'll see what they're made of. But I would say you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Is that a phrase?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Okay, if you get swept, because they're Alabama and they're good at softball, and they've been good at softball for a long time. So if they get swept, but you got to pick what you can find, see what you can gather from this series. So yeah, what a way to start SEC play. First of all, with the rivalry. Second of all, with a really good team. Conference play, like I said, you can win 10 straight. SEC softball is crazy, man. It's weird. It's, we talk about how dominant SEC football is all the time. In softball, it's even more dominant. I mean, you're looking at the top 20 teams, and most of them are in the SEC. Literally, most of them, more than not, are in the SEC. It's crazy. Yeah, they've gotten one little sliver of a taste when they split with South Carolina. So they've got some of those freshmen have a little bit of an idea, but this is the real deal now. Now those freshmen, and there's a lot of them, are going to see SEC play for the first time. And again, like, it's a different deal in the SEC just because how good the SEC is. Auburn could be the 20th best team in the country, but still be in the bottom third, bottom fourth of the SEC because the SEC has so many good teams. So we'll see. Don't panic if it doesn't look great. When you're playing number 4 in the country, that'll happen. So, but yeah, I think it's exciting though. I mean, you can finally see. You want to see Maddie Penna start against those girls. That's going to be interesting to see. And fun to watch.
To the point Justin made, I saw a graphic somebody tweeted out. I think it was John Neighbors, who's an Arkansas radio guy. And I saw it, and immediately I thought, so is this the rankings for the SEC, what they expect the SEC to be? No, it's the nation's top 10. There was like 7 or 8 SEC teams. I was like, oh, man. So to Justin's point, I'll throw in another phrase. You're throwing the kid in the deep end, going against Alabama to start things. So, but really, that it's going to be a tough test. Number 4 Alabama, and this is going to be no pushover. So I'll be interested to see how they play. And again, if they struggle, I think that's fair because this is Alabama and they're a really good team. But if they play well, even if they lose, that might show you that this team has some real potential. And they're going to need it because, like we said, Alabama softball and SEC softball in general is no pushover.
And Justin mentioned the freshman of Auburn, and I saw something really interesting the other day on Twitter from Auburn softball is their freshman pitcher, Shelby Lowe, was named SEC Freshman of the Week for softball. And Auburn said that is the 3rd time in 4 weeks that Auburn has garnered that title. So it looks like Auburn's freshmen are kind of finding their way to make a name for themselves. So what do y'all kind of think the freshmen can expect when they actually, like both of y'all said, jump in the deep end with number 4 Alabama?
It's going to be tough, but obviously the most important thing is the pitcher, and the ball's in their hand every time. So you want to see Maddie Penna, you want to see your new ace against Alabama. So I think that'll be the most telling bit, because batters will be able to adjust. For pitchers, you're going to see this is the level that you're going to be seeing for the rest of the season. So get used to it. It's going to be a grind all the way down the lineup, 1 through 9 for these pitchers. So we'll see. Like I said, throw them in the deep end, and we'll see what happens. That'd be the most interesting thing I'd be most interested in is seeing how the pitchers fare.
And kind of piggybacking off of that, I think my biggest thing would be if they play badly, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's how they respond. I mean, a lot of these freshmen are probably not used to losing. I mean, when you think about, where they're coming from and the talent they've going back to high school, they were probably on mostly winning teams. So, if they do struggle at Alabama, or playing against Alabama, I should say, that might not be the worst thing in the world. It'd be a little bit of adversity early in the year. How do they respond? And are they able to kind of shake that off and play better going down the line? So yeah, it'll be a big test, but I think if Auburn winds up struggling and maybe drops a few games against Alabama, it's not necessarily a bad thing when you look at the big picture.